Hey guys, Shadowhunt005 back with a brand new video, and today we are doing something a bit different. We are doing a theme deck review. So as you can see in front of me, I have the Zacian and the Zamazenta theme decks from Pokemon Rebel Clash. And over today and tomorrow we will be going over both of these decks, what's inside them, and what I think about their playstyles. So first off, I'm going to say both these decks are steel decks, which is quite unusual, as you generally find that with the theme decks, one of them will be of an opposing type to the other. But when you actually see what cards are in them, you see one of them is more offensive, doing higher and faster attacks, while the other one seems to be more defensive, which I presume to be higher health pools and harder attacks, but at the cost of costing more energy. But today's video we will be focusing on Zacian, the legendary hero of the Sword Pokemon in Pokemon Sword and Shield. And let's see what's actually in this deck. So first off, I'll read out the little blurb. Zacian brings an edge to your game. Sharp and quick, the legendary Pokemon Zacian leads its mighty companions to victory. With Unpheasant holding the skies and Professor's research keeping your options open, you have a full range of paths to reach the top. Galarian Berserker and Hawlucha lend their courage as you wield the Zacian theme deck with valor. So yeah, pretty good. Already telling me what cards are in there. So with the deck list, we have 2 Zacians, 2 Unpheasants, 3 Tranquil and 3 Pidovs, 2 Galarian Berserkers, 3 Galarian Meowths, 2 Probopass, 3 Nosepass, 2 Hawlucha, 2 Dan, 2 Great Ball, 4 Hops, 2 Metal Saucers, 2 Pokekids, 2 Pokemon Catchers, 2 Professor's Research, 2 Sonia, 2 Switch, and 18 Metal Energy. So let's actually open up and see these cards. So looking at everything we have in this box, we have a little chart where you can mark down all the cards from the set, as well as some tactics in regard to this deck itself, so I'll have a little read of that after. You got your damage counters, and these ones are a bit nicer, a bit shinier than previous iterations. You've also got your quick start rules, the quick version of your rules, and special conditions. And they all come as cards, so that's pretty good. Yeah, with all your conditions, what they do. So that's pretty new, pretty cool. And then you've got a playmat for people who don't own their own playmats. Well, that side's the poster, and that's pretty cool. And that side's your playmat. There's the coin that comes in the theme deck, that's pretty cool. The Zacian coin. And then we actually get to the deck. So you get your hollow Zacian at the front there. And then there's the theme deck. So opening up, here is our 18. Oh, they're quite mixed in there actually. So let's tidy this up a bit. So now that they're in order, we have our 18 Metal Energy here. So spread those out on one side. Then we have our non-hollow Zacian to go with the hollow one. And it's got 2 attacks, one costing a steel and a normal energy stream, which does 30 damage and allows you to attach steel from the discard, and then smashing edge, which is 2 metal energies and another energy, does 120 damage, and you flip a coin. If tails, discard 2 energy from this Pokemon, so a bit of risk involved in that. Next we move on to our Pidovs. So they have 60 HP, they have 2 attacks, Chirp and Razor Wing. So Chirp for 1 energy, search your deck for up to 2 Pokemon with fighting resistance, reveal them and put them into your hands, then shuffle your deck. So that's good for searching up the other normal types in this deck, but I don't see it being much help with anything else, as I don't see anything else in here apart from Lucha that has the fighting resistance. Its second attack for 2 energies of any type, Razor Wing, which does 20 damage. So I guess it's going to be a quick attacker, pulling out other colorless type Pokemon, maybe its evolutions. So let's actually see what they do. Next we have Tranquil, which is another colorless Pokemon. It has got that fighting resistance, so can be brought out with Pidov's attack. It's got 80 HP, and with 2 attacks that don't really have effects. They are Razor Wing for 2 of any energy, does 40 damage, and Gust, which for 3 of any energy does 60 damage. So still not seeing why it's so good, but we get 3 of those. Moving on to its final evolution, we've got Unpheasant, which is a Pokemon with 150 HP. Again, it's got that resistance to fighting types, so can be brought with Pidove. And it's got 2 attacks for 2 of any energy. Daunt. During your opponent's next turn, the defending Pokemon's attack do 50 less damage before applying weakness and resistance. That does 50 damage. That's pretty good attack for 2 energy. So with it doing 50 damage and then having that ability on the attack, that could actually be pretty helpful. Its second attack is 3 of any energy, Air Slash, does 150 damage, and you discard an energy from this Pokemon. So you have to discard something, but that's a lot of damage from this Pokemon. And we get 2 of those in this deck. Moving on to the Galarian Meowth, we have 3 of them in here. It's a 70 HP Steel type with 2 attacks, one of them for any energy, Hone Claw. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon's slash attack does 60 more damage before applying weakness and resistance. So that's pretty good. That will mean that slash does 90 damage on the next turn. And slash is a 2 energy requirement, with 1 being a steel energy and 1 being any other type of energy. So if you had this on your first attack with only 1 energy, you'd use the Hone Claws, and then on the next turn add another energy on that and you'd be able to use slash. So that's pretty good. So moving on to Galarian Berserker, we have something interesting. So it's a steel type Pokemon with 120 HP, and it has 2 attacks. One of them is slash. Now, from my understanding of the rules, and I could be wrong, but Hone Claw of a Galarian Meowth will increase that slash's damage, as it's still the same Pokemon. But as I said, I could be wrong with that. I would need to check that with a Pokemon Professor or Judge at some point. But that's what my understanding is, as this would be the same Pokemon when it evolves. So slash for 1 metal energy and 1 of any other type of energy does 50 damage. And Claw Dagger for 2 metal energy and any other energy. Flip 3 coins, this attack does 80 damage for each heads. And we get 2 of those. In my opinion, that could be very good for damaging. Next we have Nosepass. We have 3 of them. Now they are fighting type Pokemon with 80 HP and 2 attacks. First one being Tackle for any energy, does 10 damage. And for 3 of any energy, Rolling Tackle, which does 50 damage. So not really that important of Pokemon in my opinion. But then we get its evolution, Probopass. It is a steel type Pokemon with 140 HP. It has 2 attacks. So the first attack for 1 metal energy, Gravitational Drop, does 10 damage, plus an additional 30 damage for each energy required in its retreat cost. So that can be pretty damaging on some of the heavier Pokemon with higher retreat costs, which you generally find with steel decks in my opinion. Its second attack for 2 metal energy and 1 of any other type of energy. Heavy impact, that does 120 damage, no other effects on it. We get 2 of those, as I said. And finally, for Pokemon, we move on to Hawlucha, which is a colorless Pokemon with 90 HP. It's got 2 attacks, both of them require the cost of 1 energy, and that can be any energy. And of course it's got that resistance to fighting, so the Pidove can be used to search it out. So its first attack for 1 of any energy is Windfall, shuffle your hand into your deck, then draw 5 cards. And its second attack, also for 1 of any energy, Speed Attack, does 30 damage. So to me, that is the type of card that's more for support, which allows you to shuffle your hand and draw a new hand. Can be pretty good, but not always. Moving on to the items, we've got 2 switches, which allows you to switch your active Pokemon with your bench. I must admit, I do like the new artwork for those. We've got a Great Ball. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. You may reveal a Pokemon you find there and put it into your hand. Shuffle the other cards into your deck. Got 2 of those. Pokemon Catcher. Flip a coin. Switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon with their active. And Metal Saucer. Attach a metal energy from your discard pile to one of your bench Pokemon. That can be pretty good, especially when you can consider some of the attacks require you to discard energy on them, so you can bring that energy right back, and we have 2 of those. Moving on to the supporters in this deck, and of course, first one we get with most theme decks, we have that supporter card that allows you to draw 3 cards. In this case it's Hop, and we have 4 of them. Next we got Poke Kid. Search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it and put it into your hand, then shuffle your deck. That'll be good for searching out some of the metal Pokemon or that Nosepass, as all the others can be picked up by Pidove, or if you are attempting to attack and want to pull a Pokemon as well as do your normal attack. So we have 2 of those. We have 2 Dans, which is probably one of my favourite supporters at the moment due to how funny it is. Draw 2 cards. You and your opponent play rock, paper, scissors until someone wins. If you win, draw 2 more cards. I just find that funny how you're playing rock, paper, scissors in a game. Next we have Sonia. Search your deck for up to 2 basic Pokemon or up to 2 basic energy cards. Reveal them and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. Pretty good if you're searching for energies or specific basic Pokemon. Unfortunately, you can't use it for both purposes. You can't pull 1 basic Pokemon and 1 basic energy, but still, that's pretty good. And then we have our Professor's Research, this one Professor Magnolia. As I remember saying in one of my previous videos, they are changing the titles on these, but it basically does the same as what Juniper and Sycamore did in previous sets. Discard your hand and draw 7 cards. So as I said at the start of this video, I get the feeling that this is a quicker deck, certainly with pulling out your Pokemon a lot quicker, and your attacks are ranging from 1 to 3 energy. They're not doing extremely heavy amounts of damage, but you can pull them off within 1 to 2 turns, 3 at most, of that Pokemon being out either as your active or your bench. But we will see how this compares to the other deck. This one I get the feeling that more of the Pokemon are heavy on HP, heavy on attacks, but with a bigger cost. But let me know what you guys think, and until tomorrow's video, see you guys.